Hi Leo, welcome to your October tarot horoscope. So after a year of doing this, I finally clued in that I can just shuffle the deck and pull the card before I hit record, and then you don't have to sit there watching me shuffle for 2 minutes of silence. So I have a card for you already. The first two-thirds of the first two-thirds of October is Libra season, and then we will be rolling into Scorpio season at the end of the month. So I have the card for you, and your card for October is the Sun. So here we have the card here. I think one of the other signs already got the Sun this month. So lots of interesting stuff coming on. So the Sun is, in this card we see this particular figure. He's kind of standing here like kind of statuesque, got a bit of a robe on him, these two little kind of cherubs up in the sky, and then down here we have a lion. Way to go, Leo. This card feels really fitting for you. There's the lion there, this blue background, and that's what the card looks like. So already this seems really lined up for you. Leo is ruled by the Sun, so this card is kind of one of your kind of main cards anyway. So here we have the Sun, enlightenment. The lion is a typical sun symbol, while the Greco-Roman Apollo appears here as the god of light. Yet the card is rendered in darker tones. Most versions of this card depict twins, mostly shown as children, which discreetly hints at the second birth. The second birth is a metaphor, which means that you, as an adult, have to be reborn, and moreover, give birth to yourself this time around. Your first birth brought you into this world. Your second birth is nothing less than deliberately choosing your own life's path, no longer restricted by habitual behaviors and fixed routines, but informed by free choice and by exercising your own free will. Traditional behavior and thought patterns are replaced by a consciously chosen lifestyle. The second birth may be followed by a third, a fourth birth, and more in a progressive path of renewal. But the second birth is decisive, as the first one to be undertaken deliberately. This theme is common to the Buddhist goal of enlightenment, or the Christian maxim, if you do not become like the little children, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. The second birth is possible only as the result of a process of becoming. As long as you are lacking a true understanding of yourself, you will remain in an in-between state in a period of being on the road. The subdued colors of the picture are in keeping with the tribulations on the way to the sun, the very center of yourself. This card is about finding your way towards the sun, which is located at the heart of the matter. Practical advice: beware of all delusions. Surrender to the stream of life energy within and without yourself. Love God and do what you want to do. Okay, Leo. Enlightenment, rebirth, free will. This is obviously a very potent card, and it's connected, like it's already connected to the sun, your energy. So this card is really reminding you and encouraging you to come back to the heart, the center of your being. The heart is corresponding with the sun in this instance. The sun is the center of the solar system. Everything orbits around it, and it gives the light and life force to all of the planets. So your heart is like the sun of your being. It is giving you the light, the life, the energy around which everything else about your life orbits. So if you're finding that, if we're looking at areas in your life, are they orbiting the sun? Are they still in proximity to the life force of your heart? You kind of need to check into that, and you're only going to be able to check into that if you know what the heart is telling you. And then you can say, oh, is my work life supportive of what my heart desires? Is my love life supportive of what my heart desires? Is my relationship to family? Is my health, my body health, all of those things, are they really in line with what my heart tells me? And this is one of those things where this maybe for other people might be a little bit harder to focus on, but for you, Leo, like it might be, stereotypically or archetypically not as difficult for you to tap into your heart or to do what you want. Some other signs are maybe more focused on how other people think. Leo typically is, kind of yes and no, actually. Leo's an interesting thing where when you're tapped into your heart, then you have so much to express and give, but there also really is a core part of Leo that is like that little child that is so authentically connected to the self, but also really craves the validation of the tribe, the validation of family, of friends, that children can be so authentic, and the best thing that you can give them is just your love and attention, and validate that which they have to give. You don't need to spend all your time teaching a child what they should do or teaching a child how they should be themselves. You should, it's giving the love and affection and attention to the child who already knows who they are. they're not having to think about being who they are. They just are who they are. So for you, the invitation for you to return to the heart is not through a mental path. It's not through trying to think about who you should be or what you should be doing or think about what your heart wants. It's inviting you to become like the little children again, which is just that knowing, just that doing, just that whatever, just that kind of inspiration, that intuitive, that urge that just comes out of you without having to be decided. And what getting back into the heart of the matter is likely pulling away the layers of judgment that stop you from doing that. All the things of, oh, that's not important right now, or oh, I've been taught not to do that, or oh, no, that last time I did that, I was harmed, or oh, we don't do that here, me with the other things I identify, this isn't part of that. All of those things are the blocks that come in with your mind or your nervous system that come in and hold you back from the heart. So the path of returning to the heart is removing those barriers and then letting that flow come out. And that's kind of part of this process of rebirth. In this case, it's like picturing the shedding of the skin, shedding of the snake skin that just, that's been dull, that's rough, it has to come off, and then the new growth appears. The snake gets bigger, you're closer to their authentic self. So this rebirth is equivalent to this shedding experience where the new is going to still be connected to the old. The new snake under the skin, it's still a snake. It's not becoming something completely different. This isn't necessarily like the full metamorphosis into something completely new. It's just dying to the old way that you were, shucking off that skin because it doesn't fit anymore, and then moving forward with that free will, with that free choice to decide what you want to do, to move through your life according to what your heart vision says. And everybody is going to have their own heart vision. And so you don't need to say, to look to others to validate if they're doing, like, I need my heart to be lined up with what they're doing. Otherwise, that, like, looking for that accolade or the applause or the affirmation from the tribe based on the copycat thing of, are other people doing what I'm doing and then I can do it. Like, that's not the right affirmation. So yeah, that's kind of, really wanting to tap in there. This for Libra season is kind of an interesting time because Libra season is so often, it's a time of justice and equality, but it's also very focused on the other, our partners, our business partners, our lovers. And so, but it's coming together that the healthy partnership of lovers is of equals. It's not a service situation where you are subordinate to somebody else and it's not you being on top and others serving you. It's equals, which means the best way to be able to communicate your needs or your vision or your heart to an equal is to be tapped in, to be fully connected to your heart vision, shed that snake skin, and then come to that partner, whether it's a current partner or whether it's a prospective partner or whatever it is, to say, this is me now. Maybe we met when I had a different layer of skin on, and that's not me anymore. So what are you like? What they can do their own process as well of, do you have the same skin? Have you just shedded your snake skin? Are we no longer really going to be lined up here? Or do we get to look at our kind of new rebirth selves and say, wow, now we can go even deeper in our partnership, or we have different values. We get to negotiate that. Libra season is all about the negotiation of desire between two equals, two peers, in order to better fulfill the goals or the desires or the product of the relationship in a way that can't be achieved separately. And if you find that you can't achieve your goals together, then you go separate. And if you find, wow, we can actually better support each other through partnership, that's the value of that union. But it's only going to come from each individual authentically connecting to their heart message, authentically connecting to that child self-connection and shedding off all of those other projections or storylines or traumas about it. So that's the Libra section of October. First 2/3 of that, a lot of that is steeped in retrograde energy, so it's a really, really great time for reflection, reorientation, asking those questions of yourself. Maybe not the best time to now jump into making action and choices about it. So this is something to be considering in those partnerships or considering for yourself. Maybe don't immediately leap to it, but just, be really, really aware and everything organized. So if you do make a choice eventually, then when you'll be ready, you'll have done all the work behind the scenes. Then we get to Scorpio season at the end of the month, and Scorpio season I mean, in a way, there's that really feeling of shedding the snake skin with Scorpio energy. That kind of, it's a Scorpio, they shed their skins as well. But with Scorpio, it's really about getting into that which is usually taboo or uncovered, which may even feel like that little heart child might be stuck in the realm of taboo. What that really honest, authentic child heart wants might be shoved into that repression of, I can't want that, I can't have that, I tried to have that, I was traumatized by trying to have that. And so maybe connecting to that heart child is, you got to rescue them from the basement, rescue them from where the repression is. There's also the element of Scorpio season, which is about renewal, and renewal through death, renewal through destruction. It's the changing of seasons, that kind of, the tree having rich fruit and rich leaves in summer and autumn, and then the leaves fall. There is a death. And for a while, things are not green. And that is to make space and to recharge and get more nutrition for when the buds come again in the spring. So Scorpio season can sometimes come in like a real big annihilator and clear like right back to the earth. But it also can just look like, again, kind of like the shedding of the skin. Just the old way of doing it is gone. And then that makes space for what comes in new. So usually that suffering or that fear of loss is what causes the suffering in a Scorpio season, is I'm scared of what I could lose, instead of stepping back, taking a breath, having patience, and understanding that the death phase is a critical part of the life phase, and that now, sure, you can grieve or experience a bit of loss, but it's part of the whole picture of tomorrow, next season, next year, whatever it is, that there will now be space for something to come in, instead of trying to have infinite growth, holding on to everything, being so afraid of losing things that things just choke out by lack of nutrition, or there's now no space for anything new to come in. So that's what may be present more, and towards the end of the month is really examining, like, being able to clear space and not panicking or not being too much in that resistance of that stage of kind of, that losing, making space for renewal. So that's what it looks like for you this month, this October. So that heart space, that shedding, being able to communicate needs authentically, and then being okay and preparing for perhaps a season of change that may look like loss for a time. Like I said, a lot of retrogrades, particularly at the beginning of Libra season here, beginning of October. So do check out the Libra season workshop. There's going to be a lot more info on the transit so that you can be really aware and supported by that. This season, or this month, I'm doing something a bit different. It is not a pay what you can to me workshop. Instead, it's a donation to the Native Women's Association of Canada. So in light of the Libra season energy and values of justice and balance and equality, I'm kind of tying that in with, here in Canada, September 30th is Truth and Reconciliation Day. So that's certainly a focus of trying to bring back into balance what is a very unbalanced relationship between settlers and Indigenous here in Canada. So that's why we're taking the proceeds and all donations from the Libra season workshop to the Native Women's Association of Canada. So do take that workshop. It'll be super helpful for you, and do donate generously for that association, and we'll appreciate that. So thank you very much. Best of luck to you, Leo, on this October adventure, journeying into the sun. So I'll see you next month.